All right, so Easter's coming. We know that. We want to do some cute Easter stuff. We have lots of ideas, things we can do. So I wanted to show you today how I make my cute little watercolor carrots that I'm using for my journaling and for a few other things. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. So I want to show you today how I've been doing them both with markers. So we're watercoloring them with markers. Um, I've been on a kick of showing everyone that you don't need to have the best of the best supplies. So we're actually going to use some Crayola. These are the little pipsqueak, I think they're called. Yeah, pipsqueak markers. And I've also got some of my Tombow markers. So I'm just going to dump some of them out here. And we're just going to have fun. So we need markers. I have watercolor paper. Um, Water, and just a paintbrush. So an inexpensive paintbrush, a round brush, and some fresh water. Simple. So I'm just going to grab my orange. I'm going to show you first. Let's do a few with the Crayola markers. Um, we're just going to do this with the Crayola markers. And we're just going to I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to do some cute little carrots. I don't want them all to be perfect. I want them to be wonky, varying sizes. So when I think of a carrot, I think of a triangle that is sort of rounded at the edge. I'm going to use that pipsqueak marker and I'm going to just sort of sketch out this little triangle. And like I said, it's not going to be a perfect triangle. So I will come in here and I'm going to fill in with the side of that marker a good bit of the carrot. And then I'm going to come in with this set comes with this really fluorescent, I love it, this really bright fluorescent yellow. So I'm going to fill some of that in. And then basically I'm just going to grab my brush with water and I'm going to get a good bit of water there on the brush. And I'm just going to activate. I'm going to wet that marker, and it just becomes this pretty watercolor. So you'll see some of the yellow, and the yellow might get covered up with the orange. So let's do another one right next to it. And I'm going to do this one a lot more with the yellow. And then I'm going to throw in some bright red up at the top, right? Because color theory, red and yellow should combine to give you orange. I'm just going to make this a little bit of a fat, short carrot, right? So it's just a rounded triangle. And then I'm going to grab myself some more water. And I'm going to go in the yellow. And then I'm going to pull that up and out into my red and my orange. And see how that red just started to pull in. And I can dab some of that and make sure that it comes in towards the inside of the carrot. And I'm just going to leave it be. This one here, it looks very flat. But yes, you can make the carrots. You can make art with the Crayola. You can do this with dollar store markers. So let's just make a couple more. And I'm going to do one that's kind of long and skinny at the top. I'm just going to put in a few bits of the yellow. Not a lot. And maybe a little bit more red in this one. Let's do a little bit more red in this one. And then again, I mean, it's very simple. I'm just going to take that water. And they're getting a little bit big. You can do some big, do some small. You can see this one's different. If I don't like all that yellow, I can fix it just a little bit. Hold on, I'll be right back. Are you done? That's okay. All right, so here we have 3 carrots going here, and I want to just keep going because I want to let them dry just a little bit, but I want to show you. Let's do a few with Tombow, because you can get the color is just a bit better with different markers. You're just going to have to play around and try. So I've got a couple of different oranges here, and I've got some greens because the carrots, they need their toppers. So let's do a few toppers here. So basically, when you think of the carrot top, um, you can do them like long and skinny. You can do them short and fat. You just want to draw in some lines for leaves, right? So you can do them that way. I just press down on the marker, pull it in, press down, pull it in. You just want to do some long line shapes because these are not going to stay perfect either. We can add in some different greens and we can pull that because we can do this 2 ways. We can do these each individually and cut them out, or we can do them all together. So I'm just going to take some orange here from the Tombow, and I'm just going to make little short, fat carrots, right? So I'm just going to color that in a bit. The darker that I want it, the more of the marker that I'm going to use. If I want it to look more soft like watercolor, I don't want to fill the whole thing in with the marker, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to add a little bit of red here and there, just a few dots. And then you guessed it, I'm going to grab my paintbrush with water, and I'm just going to start activating that ink. And if I want the center, I can just let the colors now, let them all blend, right? So then I'm going to do the same here at the top. I'm going to place my brush and I'm going to wiggle it and pull because you see that is just blending those colors. And you can let it kind of blend into the red of the carrot. That looks kind of cool too. So let's do another one like this next to that, right? So I'm going to do it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to do some stems with a pipsqueak marker. Then I'm going to come in and do I'm going to just do some little ovals with this bright lime green. And then around that, I'm going to use this other green. So we're just, but see, each of those is kind of like an elongated teardrop shape. I'm going to come back in with my red. I'm going to do the top of my carrot with the red. I'm going to pull a lot of orange down. Okay. And let me use this. It's like a yellowish orange. I'm going to put some of that in there. Okay. And you guessed it. We're going to come in again with our water. And I am just going to pull that back and forth, and end at somewhat of a point at the bottom. We can do it more rounded. We can do it more pointy. But you'll see how you get like a different color. You get a little bit of brighter color with the Tombow. So depending on the marker that you use, you can also do this with watercolor. But I want to show you that if you're going to invest in the brush markers, then go ahead and use them for your art. You can make watercolor art. So we're just doing the same thing, and I'm just going to blend these in, and I'm going to let it hit my red and let it blend a little bit. So I'm going to let them dry, and then I'm just going to come up here with my pipsqueak marker, and I'm going to just do some green tips. I'm going to just do a few little green leaves, right? I'm going to throw in some blue. We don't need this to be perfect. And we're going to throw in some yellow because blue and yellow make green. So this one, it got real close to the top of the paper, but it's okay, right? So we're just going to come in here with our water and we're going to create, maybe that's a little too much blue, but it's okay. We're going to let that blend. We can always come back in and add some more green over top when it dries. And you can do very simply, just do like this. It doesn't have to be big, long streaks, right? And we'll just come in with the water. Just leave some white in between your two carrots, right? And where it hits wet, it's going to blend. Doesn't have to be. And you'll just see the color differences. And they're all beautiful, guys, right? They're all beautiful. So I'm going to come down here and just do a couple more real quick with this green, right? So they don't have, all you can do is just make little lines going out and you can make them as long as you want. I really like this red. So I'm going to do one kind of long and skinny. Do a long and skinny carrot here. And let's see, we're going to add some more of that yellow here off to the side. And I'm going to start over here with the yellow and work it over towards the red. We don't have to stay in the lines. We can come back in and fix things if we don't like. We can bring some of that red around. And I'm just going to bring it right up there into my green. And let that blend, right? I want you to see that there's no right or wrong way. And we can do this however we choose. So let's do some orange. We're not going to use red on this one. Let's do like a really muted carrot here. And I can hit it just with a little bit of that brighter orange here and there. Come in with my water. Just fill it in and let the colors do what they do. Okay. And again, look, an oval and bring it down. An oval, bring it down, an oval, and just bring it down to a center point. Come in with a different green to add some interest up into those leaves. Same thing, little bit of water, pull down, little bit of water, pull down. Just activate that watercolor or activate that marker and let it do its thing, right? So we're going to get these to dry real quick, or we're going to make them dry. I'm going to make them dry, so be right back. Then when we're dry, right, this is, I like to do, you can do the scissors, you can cut them out first, or I like to come in and make sure they're completely dry if you are going to use a water-based black pen to do your outlines if you're going to do outlines. If they are even the slightest bit wet and you hit it with the water-based pen, like a jelly roll, that black will then bleed, right? And just embrace the imperfection. But if you don't want that to happen, then I would make sure the paper is absolutely 100% dry or use a waterproof marker to do your outlines, right? So this is a micron. I like to use that as well. I'm going to do one with the Jelly Roll Glaze. I love this pen. You can see I use these. I can't get enough of the glaze. I just love it, right? So I just like to take my glaze pen and just go around, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I like to just come around, and I like to do multiple outlines right? So you could put like little details in there, some wiggly lines, right? So this is where my wiggly lines would come in. And then say sometimes I like to come in and do like little dots and an X, or a dash and an X, a dash and an X, a dash and an X. You know, you can do dots, dashes, X. And if your hands are shaky, it's fine. It just adds to the beautiful handmade quality of these. I love them. They look like little illustrated carrots, right? So that's really cute. So that's using the glaze pen, and the glaze pens dry. Um, they look wet. They look glazed. So if you like that look, the glaze pens are so much fun. Then the microns. These are fun too, right? So then you can just, and this one is a thick. This one has a really thick. So I can come in here now with this and look, my hand is shaky and I like it. I'm going with that handshake on purpose, right? I can then come in here and add like a few X's. I can add some details on, um, you know, to make my carrot appear round. I can then just do some fun little illustrations of my leaves. We can add lines, right? But just have fun with this and don't stress about it, right? So you're going to do this to all of them. You know, feel free to use different colors. I just happen to like the black and on top of the watercolor look. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors, use smaller scissors if need be. And I'm just going to work my way around the carrot. There is no need for perfection. I'm going to work my way around. I can just come all the way around the top. I can get in as close as I want in the areas that I want. But that's the beauty of this. These are your pieces of art for your journal, for your activity, for your DIY. And I like to use these in a lot of my brush lettering and hand lettering projects, especially for Easter. These are adorable. You can do these big, you can do them small. So there's one cut out. And we'll just cut out the next one, right? So you can do a whole bunch of these. I like to do this with flowers, all kinds of things. They give you like a sticker vibe without having to make stickers. And you can use these in card making. So you just finish cutting these out. You would do the whole paper. And I will link some projects below that you can use these in. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share this with your friends, and come back for more DIY videos in the future. All right, guys, I will see you soon.